Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for you guys today, I have a video that I'm very excited about because I'm going to be telling you guys the horror stories that I have experienced as a cashier during COVID, and it's going to be doing a get ready with me for this look that I did today. Basically, I'm going to be telling you guys stories about things that I have personally experienced and things that my coworkers have experienced since COVID has started in Michigan. And how things have been going and everything. It is a very ranty video, and it is a little bit longer. So you guys might want to get like a drink or something. But I hope you guys. I can't talk anymore. I get so bad at intros. Okay, basically, it's going to be a longer video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, thumbs up, subscribe, appreciate it. And just remember to be kind to everybody, but like right now, especially essential workers, because COVID's not done. They're talking about how this is like maybe the end of a first wave of COVID, so it's probably going to get worse before it gets better again, so yeah, just be kind, I guess. So yeah, with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so the first horror story I have is from like the very beginning of COVID. Basically what happened is Governor Whitmore, because I live in Michigan, put a temporary ban on like garden stuff and outdoor furniture and flooring and paint, because from the way I understand it, she wanted to cut down on the amount of foot traffic going in stores, because a lot of stores are not enforcing the no mask, no service policy. So she put a temporary ban on that stores were supposed to be enforcing. And my store, because it was against the law at the time, my store did. So we had it posted everywhere. Everywhere that we had paint, that we had flooring, that we had wallpaper, patio furniture, garden stuff. We had it posted everywhere that there was a temporary ban on those things. Well, one day, a lady ignored all those signs, went back and pulled out a cooler. Now, the cooler was the cooler you wouldn't think is a big deal. However, it was part of a patio furniture set. She brought it up, and I said, "Ma'am, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to sell this to you because it's considered patio furniture." And she's like, "How is it patio furniture? It's a cooler." And I said, "But that is part of our patio furniture line," because I knew the brand looking at it. Like, I worked there. I've worked there for almost 5 years. I know what our patio furniture looks like. And, sorry, my mirror is over here. And so I told her that, and she's like, "Well, can you please ask somebody?" And I said, "Sure." And I called my manager over. And while I was waiting for my manager to get over to me, she apologized to the guy behind her. And he's like, "Oh no, you're fine. I'm really curious about this now." And so when my manager got over there, I asked her, I said, "Do you think this is considered patio furniture and it's part of the ban?" And she looked at it and she said, "I'm sorry, I think it is because of the brand. It was like, Backyard Creations. That's patio furniture." And she's like, "Are you kidding me?" And whatever. And she got huffy. But she eventually left. The part where this is a horror story is because two people who weren't even part of her party, because it was her and her daughter looking for a gift for the lady's father or father-in-law, something along those lines. They threw, oh my god, they started screaming at my boss. And my boss had to go help another person because a bell dinged, and that's how you know when there's a person who needs help. So she had to go help somebody else, and she left. And the people who weren't even part of the issue with the cooler were still screaming. And one of the guys even got on his phone and tried to look up the ban on him. He says, "It doesn't say anywhere in here that it's banned." And I pointed at the sign that all the cashiers had posted at their registers, and I said, "That is considered patio furniture. I'm sorry that it wasn't able to be sold to her, but right now it's against the law because the governor is trying to cut down on foot traffic in all stores. If she wanted it, she could have ordered it online and gone out back to get it. You know, it's our version of curbside and stuff. And so he shut up after that and left soon after. But oh my god, I heard about that for the next 10 minutes from the people who had been in line to witness it. And I'm like, ugh, I did not sign up for this. This is ridiculous. People are being stupid. Alright. So then, that was the end of that horror story. Basically, the horror story of it was the fact that there were two people who weren't even part of the conversation butted in and were screaming at me like, was I yelling at you? Did I tell you no, you couldn't buy your stuff? No, because you listened to the signs. Move on with your life. So yes. There's that one. Okay, so there was that first story. Alright, so the next horror story was a couple weeks after the person with the cooler one. This one, I was up at service and we had just started enforcing the store had just started enforcing the no mask, no service policy. Alright, and so people, we had them, if you really wanted in the store and you didn't have a mask with you, you could buy one for $1. Okay, $1. And that was only if you really wanted in the store and didn't have one. And stuff. And so this lady came in and the guard, she didn't have on a mask, so the guard stopped her and said, ma'am, unfortunately, unless you have a mask or want to purchase one, you are not allowed in the store. And she's like, well, I have a condition. And he's like, I'm sorry, if you have a condition that's like that bad, you still have to have on a mask and stuff. And she's like, well, I don't want to wear one. And that was basically what it was the fact that she didn't want to wear one. They sat and argued about it for a while. He wasn't going to let her go past. Means it's literally his job to, not let people in who didn't have masks. And rather than being like, okay, and either buying one or just leaving, she punched him! She hauled off and punched him! Okay, and this wasn't like a young lady. This lady was in her 50s or 60s, and she hauled off and punched him because he wouldn't put on a mask. Okay, so my general manager got called up, and she left. Alright, but here's the kicker. She called the cops. She called the cops on the company and on the guard. And, the cops told her basically, the store has the right to deny you service. And how I know all that is because the cop who answered the phone for her, boy, do I feel bad for him. The cop who answered the phone for her came into the store later because he wanted proof of the incident. Because he was worried she was going to file a complaint on him. I don't know if she ever did or not. He never came back. But, just the fact that she had the balls to call the cops when she's the one that punched the guard, it's mind-boggling to me. Like, are you that stupid? That's assault. Are you out of your mind? I can't. I can't. Can you imagine doing that? Oh my god. And you know what the kicker is? She had a mask. She had a mask in her hand. She just didn't want to wear it. Too bad. If I could wear a mask, here's my whole policy on people not wearing masks. I have asthma. I've had asthma for so long, I don't even remember a time where I haven't had it. And I have a rescue inhaler in my purse or on my person at all times. If I can wear a mask for over 8 hours, you can wear a mask for the whole time you're shopping. Okay? That's my whole policy on that nonsense. My god, people are so stupid. Ooh, that makes me mad. But yeah, so that was another one. And that one I think is like the most frustrating because it's like, you have a mask. Why don't you just put it on? It's ridiculous. And like the amount of people who are personally offended that you're not going to wear, that you won't, like that they have to wear a mask is crap. Mind-boggling. It is ridiculous. You could have just thrown those on my bed, babe. Can you hand me that cat, please? Like, it's... It's mind-boggling to me. Because, like, that's not even, like, the only thing that's had to do with a guard. Like, yesterday, some guy didn't have a mask, and when he asked how, where they were at, the guard told him, they're available for purchase up at the service desk. He's like, for purchase, you guys can all go and lick my... I'm like, okay. Really, dude? And stuff. And it's just ridiculous, But another time, what was this one? Hold on, there have been so many, I cannot remember them all. Hold on, let me... Alright, so I just did some, like, thinking and looking at the notes I made prior to doing this video, so I wouldn't have to, like, keep pausing and everything. I don't really actually have that many stories that don't involve masks, because the amount of people who get personally offended at the fact of having to wear a mask is ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So we're gonna keep telling stories about masks. So the other day, I had a guest try to come in the store without a mask. He was told, hey, sorry, you can't. He then, like, when he got done arguing with the guard and was walking out the door, he says, it's against my civil rights to have to wear a mask. I Googled it. Okay? I Googled it. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the Act of 1964 that said stores cannot deny you service based on your gender, age, race, sexual orientation, or disability. And that one was, like, the disability part was the Americans with Disabilities Act. So, we can't deny you, like, if you have a service dog and you need the service dog, we can't deny you entrance because of the service dog. Just like we can't deny you service if you are Asian, African American, whatever. We can't deny you service for that. However, when it comes to health and code safety violations or whatever, we can. So, people not wanting to wear a mask in a store in the middle of a pandemic, stores and restaurants have the right to deny you service. That's what that is. And if you don't like it, suck it up and deal. What do you think you're doing? Like, just spreading your germs all over the place? Nobody wants to get COVID, okay? Are you out of your mind walking around without a mask on? Like, I understand the fact that they're a pain in the butt. I wear one almost every single day for 8 hours plus. Alrighty? Move on with your life. Jeez, people, I get annoyed at this, because I hear people complaining about this all day, and it's so frustrating. It's like, do you want to get COVID? Like, I realize that they're a pain, and I'm so sorry that you don't like wearing one, but what, you don't want to wear one, don't shop. Don't shop. It's that simple. Oh, I got another good one. Okay, so there was one time, this was a couple of weeks ago, we were doing a rental, and, on the rental item that this guy was purchasing or renting, there's a $50 deposit that you get back upon delivery of the, it was a truck, we were renting out the truck, and there is there's a $50 rental deposit on the truck that you get back when you bring it back, minus the mileage and any service fees that are maybe acquired if it comes back damaged. Alright? I think that's pretty standard. You're getting thousands of dollars of an item. The truck is worth thousands of dollars and stuff, and we don't want it brought back smashed. So, like, the incentive there is, you bring it back, you get your money back, minus mileage. The guy was recording people, okay? He was recording people who were trying to, like, rent him out the truck. And when my manager saw him recording her, she said, no, I'm not going to rent you out the truck. You don't have the right to record me. Because recording people without their permission or without their knowledge is illegal. Okay? That is a crime. And rather than not recording, he waited until somebody else came up, and then when they were out to the truck, he started recording her. Alright? He was so bad that when I went up to the service desk to do, you know, this person's brake, I got warned multiple times by my supervisor, by my manager, and by the guard. And by the person whose brake I was doing, that this guy was due back any minute, and if I didn't want to be recorded, to call somebody else up and they would figure out the situation. And so he came in, and he was not very happy. Basically, he wanted to know if he was going to get his rental, his $50 back. And I'm like, did you destroy the truck? He says, no. I'm like, well, then you should be just fine. I just have to go check it in and check the mileage. You'll be getting your $50 back minus the mileage fee. Okay. And so what it was, I guess, that he was really worried about was the fact that the $50 deposit is our way, you know, if you bring the truck back smashed, like there's a big old dent in the side, we're going to keep that. Because we, as a company, the company has to pay somebody to fix the truck. That's not free. And so, you know, we're also going to let your insurance know that we're charging you for it. So your insurance would have to pay for it. And everything is basically what it is. And this guy was so annoyed by that. And I'm like, well, then don't rent the truck. You know, not that hard. If you don't want to pay cleaning fees or service fees, if you bring it back damaged, don't rent it. It's not that difficult. So he basically told my manager that she needed, okay, and I kid you not, this is exactly what he said. He says, you need to be a police officer, not a manager, because you are obviously not very good at, he basically said she's better at escalating things than calming things down, just like the police were doing down in, the southern states where things were escalating because of George Floyd and everything, where they're still being escalated because of the amount of, like, black hate crimes that are being committed down there. And I'm not saying that to joke around or anything. It's a very real issue. But just the fact that, like, he was comparing the fact that my manager wasn't going to let him rent the truck as long as he was recording her to black hate crimes and systematic racism. Are you out of your skull? Oh my god. Okay. Ugh. Okay. So yes. What else? There was another time that, sorry, all my brushes are, like, down here on the floor, so I'm just trying to find one. There was another time that a lady complained because, so, you know how with COVID right now, a lot of stores are extending out their return policy because a lot of stores have shut down taking returns up until recently. My store was not one of them. We quit taking returns for 2 days. Okay, 2 days. And people complained so bad to corporate that corporate just lifted the ban on returns. So we started taking returns back less than 24 hours after we had stopped taking them. And so last week, this lady came in and she was returning something. Or no, this was a couple weeks ago. She was returning something. And, you know, her receipt was more than 90 days old. Now, a lot of stores won't even take back returns after 90 days because you had 3 months to return it. And you haven't. So, obviously, like, you know, you've had 3 months to return it. I'm sorry, we're not taking it back anymore. That's what a lot of stores say. Like, I know Walmart does that and stuff. But this lady got so mad when I told her. I said, ma'am, it looks like the receipt is more than 90 days old, so it does have to go back on a store credit. And she's like, oh, you guys aren't honoring returns for contractors and builders? Well, and I said, well, we're still taking them back. I mean, it's not like you can't return items. It's just because the receipt is so old, it has to go back on a store credit. She's like, well, I had to quit building things because of COVID. I'm sorry, ma'am. We never quit. I said, we only quit taking returns for 2 days. Our return policy got extended out for 2 days that we were no longer taking returns. It's been over 90 days. I can't give you back it on your card. And she's like, well, are you sure? I'm like, yes. Are you sure? Yes. You know, because as I mentioned earlier, almost 5 years. I've been doing service for 2. You know, I know the return policy and stuff. And she was not happy. So I called my supervisor over. My supervisor told her the same thing. She's like, well, I want to talk to a manager. Okay, so my manager came over, and he listened to what she was saying, and he told her no. You know, we can't. She argued with him about it, and he says, ma'am, this is basically how we got her to quit complaining and arguing with him about it. He said, ma'am, even if your name was on the building, even if you owned the company, if your receipt is more than 90 days old, I cannot. It's not possible to give you back your money on anything but a store credit. You've had 90 days to return it. If you didn't want it, you should have returned it within those 90 days. She's like, well, what was I supposed to do? Return everything that I bought? And he said, yes, if you knew you weren't going to be able to use it, you should have returned it. And then you can repurchase it when you're able to use it so it's not sitting there rotting. You know, that, I understand her pain and everything, but I'm really annoyed at that too, because as I mentioned earlier, we only started taking returns back because of the amount of people who complained about it. Probably not, but she was probably one of the people who complained in the first place about the fact that we quit taking returns. And now you're complaining because we are taking returns and it's been so long since you bought it that it has to go back on a store credit. I could just tell you no. You know, we're not going to take it back at all. Then you'd really be stuck with it. At least if it's been At least if it's on a store credit, you can use the store credit to purchase something else in the store. Because once they're issued, you don't have a date that you have to use them by. You know, and the only thing you can't use them for is another gift card. The store cards, like if you're paying on your bill, you can't pay on your bill with it, and you can't use it to rent a rental item. You know? So, just, like, it boggles the mind that people are so stupid about it. Like, I don't understand. Why must things be so difficult? I don't get it. Do any of you guys understand? Because I don't. You know? Okay, what's another good one? I mean, they're all pretty much the same thing. People don't want to wear masks. They're complaining about no receipt returns and everything. And I don't know. It's really frustrating because, like, I do feel for them. Okay? I feel for the people who have to wear masks because I am one of them. I feel for the people who don't want to wear them because, you know, it's not like I enjoy wearing a mask that by the time I get it off and I'm able to go home is soaking wet from the amount of hot air that's blown into it. I get it. Like, nobody enjoys that. But, you know, blaming the people working there and yelling at me and my coworkers for... Oh, speaking of which, I got another one going. So, this one didn't actually happen to me, but I heard about it the next day. One of my coworkers, right after we stopped taking back paint, and we made an announcement that we weren't going to make paint. So the next day after we made that announcement, And after Governor Whitmore said that, you know, paint and stuff was no longer going to be able to be sold starting at like 12:01, whatever. So the next day, we had it posted. There were signs everywhere. Some guy brought up 6 gallons of paint to one of my coworkers' line, and she said, "Sir, unfortunately, I can't sell that to you. It's against the law right now." And he says, "Oh, really? Okay." So he goes to pay for everything else. He drops his money on the ground, grabs the cart with the paint, and takes off running towards the door. He was gonna steal the paint. He wanted it that bad. I'm like, are you out of your mind? When I heard about that, I started laughing because do you really think we're not gonna notice you running towards the door with 6 gallons of paint when it's illegal to sell them right now? He got stopped. I don't know if he ever went to jail or not, but he got stopped. You know, is paint... Okay, here's my whole thing. Is paint really worth going to jail over? You know? Like, I don't understand the people who are so dumb. I don't understand. And, like, the amount of people complaining because... I don't know. Like, and people think that I don't understand just because, like, here's my whole thing. The other thing that's been annoying me this whole time is the fact that people, like, you should be grateful you have a job. You know, at least it's not affecting you. How is it not affecting me? I went from working, like, 30 hours a week. I work over 40 now, almost every single week, because for probably 2 months after COVID started, half of my co-workers who worked directly with me, so, like, front-end co-workers, were gone. Because of COVID. They had taken leave of absence. They were gone for over 2 months. And people are like, well, you know, it's not affecting you. How is it not affecting me? My hours are way more than what they used to be. Which, you know, people wouldn't normally think is a bad thing because of the money. But I didn't ask for my hours to be raised. You know, I didn't ask to be scheduled 8 and 9 hour shifts every day. Okay? And then, speaking of which, this one guy, you know, we have a thing at the store that I work for. It says basically, you know, if there's more than 3 people in line, we'll open up a new register. Or more than 2 people in line, we'll open up a new register if there's somebody available to open it. At the time, we had lines that were probably 10 to 15 people deep. And we had 5 registers open because we had 3 cashiers that knew how to run a register. We had 2 people from other departments who knew how to run a register. And then my manager was waiting to open up a register herself till the GM got up there to watch the door. And he came through my line and he's like, I thought, you know, your company has a policy that if there's more than 3 people in line, they'll open up a new register. I would have looked at him and I said, with who? Who would you like me to have open up another register? There is nobody else. Okay, here's the thing. We had, for the longest time, we had 10 cashiers to run 10 registers and do breaks and do returns and everything. And people were also getting upset that we hadn't opened up the garden center yet. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's not enough people right now. Are you out of your mind? I'm so sorry you had to wait 20 minutes in line to be able to check out. At least you were able to check out, okay? Move on with your day. I can't, you know, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys have any horror stories? Because right now, I don't understand why people are so complaining about it still. Like, even now, people are not happy with the way things are, and things are finally starting to open back up, so you should be, you know, they should be overjoyed at the fact that things are opening back up and lives are returning to, like, a semi-normal state, but because it's not perfect, people aren't happy. Here's a hint. Things are never going to be perfect again. They're talking about, the CDC is saying, if I'm not mistaken, that COVID is probably going to be like the flu. There's going to be seasons of it. And until they have a vaccine, you know, everybody needs to be cautious. Because it is killing people, okay? And if you guys, here's my whole thing. If people want to go out and not wear a mask and not social distance, and then they catch COVID, they have nobody to blame but themselves. It is ridiculous. And everything. Oh my god, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad that people don't get it yet. That, you know, this isn't a joke. The country didn't shut itself down for giggles. You know. It's really annoying. And then you come to a place where somebody is employed and yell at them for just doing their jobs. You know, I could understand people being upset and, like, being venting and gripey and complaining. Whatever. I get complaining to people who don't actually care. Like, I get it. Because I complain all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do. But blaming people and then, you know, acting like they enjoy telling you no when it's affecting them too is a crock of bull. I don't understand. I do not understand. Oh crap, this clip is getting kind of long. Okay, so I'm basically gonna go finish up my eyeshadow and mascara and everything off camera. I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I guess basically, like, my message for this video is don't treat essential workers, because I'm just a cashier, you know. I'm not even, like, a doctor or a nurse or a teacher. Don't treat people who have had to work during COVID the whole time like crap. Okay, it's not cool. It's not nice. They didn't ask for COVID to happen. They can't control the fact that COVID happens, and they can't control what the government does. Alright, so don't yell at them for things that are outside of their control. You know, everybody is having to deal with this. It sucks. I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, don't scream at people for, you know, stuff that they can't control. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, as I would very much greatly appreciate it. I am trying to hit 200 subscribers, and then I have a big giveaway planned. And also, all the products I used today, if you guys are wondering what I used, I'll have it in the description box. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and with that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!